Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored by Stern and Spiegel LLP, 5168-731-683. Let us solve your problems, and our friends at Tiffany Dry Cleaners, environmentally safe with free pickup and delivery in West Hempstead and surrounding areas, 718-309-5222. Here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dan, and hey, Norm. What's going on?
Breathing well.
Breathing well, yeah, and all budget all the time. Wow. Let's just dive into it.
Is something going on?
Yeah, you know what? I have no idea. My phone has been like lit up. We're a week away from the budget. The budget's going to be on June 20th. Let's first get out of the way. Don't say a word unless you're going to go down and vote. So those who are going to complain or not even going to show up, then don't complain. You got to vote.
If half the people on social media vote, I think then they'll have a decent vote. But the social media platforms are lit up.
If there's a big turnout, then I think everyone wins. But regardless, so Dan and I last night, or actually it was 2 nights ago, we interviewed Karen Brohm and we interviewed Joel Press from the school board at the middle school library. It was a fairly lengthy interview, ran over 45 minutes, and fortunately Dan was able to edit it down.
That's the edited down. We were up at about 55.
Yeah, but I would encourage people to take a look at it, because underneath the interview there's a chapter headings, and you can actually go to the part of the interview that you'd like to see. If you're interested in the busing, there's a tag for that. If you would like to know about the reserve fund, they speak about that, enrollment. Each of them are broken down. You don't need to watch the whole 45 minutes. There is enough there for you to get information.
And there's a lot there to unpack. I would say that for those who are really interested, and certainly for those who are on the fence and trying to figure out what to do, here's a good opportunity to really hear from two very key, important board members.
Although in his defense, I think Joel is officially a school district employee, not a board member. Karen, I think, was speaking on behalf of the board. Look, it's a long piece. We're not saying you should watch this beginning to end, but considering all the yelling, all the screaming, all the accusations, you can at least hear this side of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other sides of it. We have certainly made it an option if anybody wants to come in and talk to us.
Yeah. But, and one of the things that I just found most interesting was, and continue with Karen and Joel, is their transparency. They are not professional politicians. They're doing this because of their, certainly in the case of Karen, because of her interest in the school system, and I know Joel's an employee, but it sounds to me like he's kind of at it like 18 hours a day, so he's really, super dedicated, and they're really trying to do what's best, what they think is best for the school.
And there's no question their intentions are pure. These people are articulate, they are dedicated, they're trying to do the best they can do. I don't see personally any kind of serious problems that they're overlooking. I think they're trying to be careful.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the budget, the budget's the budget, and they lost. I mean, the school budget did not get approved, and the same budget numbers are being submitted, and that's an issue with many people in the community, and that's understandable as well. So if you have these questions, we urge you to go to westhempsteadecho.com and to click on the videos, click on the chapters, whatever you got to do. But if you want to really be informed, this is the place to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I'll call one other thing out too. I think what will matter to people a lot is going to be what happens if. Right? If this budget does not pass again, let's be upfront. The budget they have offered is identical in every way to what it is that was offered the last time. But again, I would say take a look at what they say is going to happen under a contingency budget, which is the next step if this doesn't pass. You may not agree with how they're approaching it, but this is what they're telling us is going to happen if the budget fails again. I'll just repeat again, budget vote, June 20th, that's a week from yesterday. Well, we're recording this on Wednesday. It's Tuesday, June 20th, 7 a.m., I think, until 9 or 9:30 p.m. You have plenty of time during the day, even if you've got to work, you got kids, whatever it is. If you care, if this matters to you, one way or the other, go out and vote. You don't vote, what can we tell you?
And the last piece that I would mention on all of this is that Monday evening, we're going to be having a discussion between Tom Sargent and Barry Leon. Those were the two candidates who did not get the board seats but represented different sides, and they're going to be coming on the set to basically give their impressions and talk about the elections on the eve of the election. So this is really going to be must-see local TV. So we'll be sending out notices of when this is going to take place, and we urge everyone again, if you're interested in this subject, Echo's the place where we have all the information.
Echo TV.
Echo TV, maybe that's going to stick. Construction, I hear a lot of banging going around all over West Hempstead, and
the banging hasn't even started yet.
And it's
the
not
Liquidators. It's going to be a headache to be.
So what's going on at Liquidators? That's there's a big plot of land there. You and I were at the Chamber of Commerce meeting a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we got a full presentation from Heather Wood, the developer, who's in the final stages of approval. He's pretty much got his variances. He's got to get his demo permit, and once he does that, which I think will be before the end of the year, he will be tearing down the Liquidators as we remember it, and putting up a small town. I mean, it's like a 9-acre site. He's building 420 apartments. They're going to rent from anywhere from $1,400 to $3,000. Some of them are like townhouses, and some of them are just straight, one bedrooms incorporated with lots of amenities. Sounds like a great project.
It should be amazing. The CEO of Heatherwood is Douglas Patrick, and he was at the meeting, and that's the person that Norm was referring to. And the whole group from Heatherwood came, and they did their whole dog and pony show, and showed these nice pictures. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be very exciting. It's certainly taking a plot of land that at this point, with the exception, I think that carpet store is still open. Amazingly.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask about that, because there are at least a few commercial things going there. The liquor stores there.
No, liquor store is closed. The only business that we understood, and they talked about this a little bit, that's open is the carpet store. And they have been talking to them. I assume at some point they have a lease that is just going to time out. I think the Chinese restaurant is gone, and the medical place is gone. So it's basically all cleared out, with the exception of the carpet guys. But hopefully they'll be rolling out at some point soon.
Well, that was terrible. Norm, just in your experience, let's say they start putting shovels in the ground early 2024. What would you guess it's going to take before they've got something to show for themselves?
Well, they'll have some portion of it up in the probably 2-year period. But they're talking about staging it. So some of it will be apartments, single buildings. Others will be townhouse-type style apartments. So they may do this over a 5-year period, I guess, depending on how much commitment they see in the economy and the commitment from banks as well. But this is a project that's going to start and keep going until they feel they can fully occupy it. I don't believe the one across the street is fully occupied. It's about 85% is what I'm being told. There are some stores in this new development. There are lots of amenities like pools and park area, enclosed parking as well for, I think, almost 2 cars per apartment, he said. Right. So there's a lot to be built, and I think they're going to stage it.
Yeah, and more importantly, they'll be right across the street from Bagel Craft. So what better place to go? Best
Just
bagels
a shout out
home
to
of the
Neil
best
there.
bagel.
Yes, yes.
Love it.
It really is going to change the dynamic of the community. We spoke about it with the board, and they didn't really necessarily think that a lot of kids are going to be coming from that area, only because...
But they don't know. I mean...
No, they don't know.
And you heard the same thing from Karen. They can't
but it's
project
a commuter,
how many...
but it is a commuter area rental, so presumably people are going there who are going to be using the West Hempstead Long Island Railroad Station, kind of get in, go out. You're talking about rents of, $3,000 to $4,000, and I guess when it's all done, it's probably going to be even more than that. So I'm just not sure if you're going to see a lot of families.
When you talk 3,000 to 4,000, you're talking about the 3-bedroom. That's a family already, and there are people who are selling homes that are retiring and moving into the smaller apartments, maybe 1 or 2-bedroom. But when you have 420 apartments, if every third one has one kid, it's a big chunk of kids.
Yeah.
It's a class. And then if you start to project every other apartment, then you're talking about potentially hundreds of kids coming into the community.
Yeah, will be great. And some other speaking of children, the Hebrew Academy in Nassau County, otherwise known as HANC, they have a big tract of land by Hempstead Avenue, and we understand there's some news in that space.
Yeah, they have their permits for demolition and for foundation. I don't believe they have their financing yet. They announced that they are pushing off financing commitments at this point until I guess they wrap it all up with their banks. They won't start construction until that's completed. So I don't know, maybe beginning of the fourth quarter,
right.
They might get started. Anshe as well is wrapping up their building. That should be occupied shortly. Hopefully those trailers will be gone before the beginning of the new year. Who knows?
So the bottom line is, as it relates to HANC, that the groundbreaking, there's no set time, and
Right.
that'll be reset at another point as the funds come in.
Correct.
Okay, great. We have a Somerset Brewery video is up on the site, and that was an amazing visit. I know we all went there, and seeing Manny, who's both a doctor and I don't know what a beer specialist is.
Beerologist? I don't know.
We call him a brewmaster.
The
Brewmaster, I love that.
He is the brewmaster. I mean, he literally, hoisted those first kegs up there and did it all himself. It's an amazing story and really changes the landscape of entertainment, if you will, for West Hempstead. Because now on a hot Saturday night in West Hempstead, you have a place to go that's actually in the community. You don't have to leave it,
The place is packed.
and you can bring your dog.
Yep. And you guys tried the beer. You said the beer was great, which
beer
is
was amazing.
obviously the
Oh.
important bit.
My favorite beer was the beer in which he brews with A&S bagels. I don't know how he came up with that formula, but in addition to all his 20 different formulas that he has, he just threw some bagels in, and it is a great beer.
Yeah, and his favorite beer is Memphis beer, named after his first dog, who also is the name of my dog, which is the biggest pain in the butt you ever want
Your
to
last
We
dog.
like
across,
Memphis.
but
You've
we
heard him on the
adore him,
broadcast
and,
before, so you know.
Yeah, I know. We do what we can do, and actually he's upstairs sleeping as we speak. So, Norm, what else we got going
Well,
on?
we got Malvern Theater is playing You Hurt My Feelings, About My Father, Little Mermaid, Spider-Man Book Club, and Somewhere in Queens. That's what's
somewhere
happening
in
West
Queens?
Hempstead. Somewhere in Queens.
Somewhere in Queens. Wow.
Considering I get lost every time I drive in
that
that
sounds
borough,
like
I
20 years of
understand.
my life.
I get a-
Somewhere in Queens.
I get
don't
a
know.
ticket every time I drive into Queens. It's 25 miles an hour. It's like
Right.
standing still.
Well, visit the Malvern Theater right down the block and go check out all these theaters, and maybe you'll find yourself in Queens. So I think that's going to wrap it up this week for This Week in West Hempstead. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, our sponsors and our viewers, for hanging in there. And remember, June 20th, go out and vote.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would like to sponsor our program, much like Tiffany Dry Cleaners and Stern & Spiegel LLP, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.